Ah, hello. Tonight's tale takes place in the village of Winterley, a place you won't find on any map, a place where the locals still practice the old ways, where all roads lead back to the town, and of course the howl in the night may not be the farmer's dog. Tonight, we unravel the tale of 7 TVs, children of the fields.
Hi, welcome to the Average Tabletop Gamers. I'm Ben.
I'm Sven.
I'm Lee.
And this episode we're going to be looking at Crooked Dice, Children of the Fields for 7TV.
So this is an expansion for the 7TV inch-high Spy-Fi, so 7TV version 2 specifically. If you go and check out our channel, you'll see we did an unboxing of the inch-high Spy-Fi main box and some of the starter casks, so go check that out. But this is an expansion that they've done, which is introducing the folk horror genre to 7TV.
Personal favourite of mine. Some of the like the 1970s, 80s British folk horror stuff, your Hammer House and things like that.
A whole flurry of films, isn't there?
Yeah.
They just churned them out.
Yeah, with most of them with Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
In some way or other.
Yeah. So whereas this came out a couple of months ago, and this was Crooked Dice's first foray into Kickstarter. So they did really well on the Kickstarter, and they got a whole range of miniatures to support this, as well as. So this is the program guide, which is essentially the same as if you remember we saw the program guide in the 7TV main box. This is the rule book, this is the equivalent of your army lists. So this has got your army lists, it's got your special rules, it's got the differences in Children of the Fields to the standard 7TV.
Cool.
So, what kind of differences have you got between the two, Stephen?
So, as we saw, we're looking at the main 7TV, we had about 6-7 main genres. So this introduces 2 new cast lists, I should say, which is the Children of the Fields and the Black Goat. So there's 2 different cast lists in here. And the other main difference about this particular expansion is where 7TV, as we saw in the main box, is kind of very open. So they don't give you named characters on the cards.
Yeah.
You'll see when we get into the cards here, the difference that this is basically set with set casts, set characters, and the episodes are themed around the actual folk horror theme.
Okay. So in the main game, the other version of the game, the one that we've had a go previously and you've done the boxing for, you might have a time travelling character that is just a generic person from the future.
Yes, you have your Tomorrow Man, and you've got the agent and various ones like that. So with this here, you'll see that the casts are actually named. So we've got, in terms of stars, let's go back there, we've got things like Lady Winterly. So again, you alluded to this in the Tales of the Unexpected style opening.
Was that you?
That was me.
Oh, that's very good.
Hard, thanks.
So good. This is set in an East Anglian village of Winterley.
Does it state East Anglia?
For
our East Anglian friends out there.
It actually states East Anglian.
Oh dear.
I think that's again because of a lot of the folk horror kind of genre.
And the rich tapestry of folklore that they have.
Yeah, and so, but I guess you could theme this, you could technically take this and theme this as to, one of the West Niles of Scotland or something like that, or Ireland, or wherever you like. Yeah, I like Wicker Man kind of thing.
The heart of Northumberland, Cumbria.
But so this
Leeds.
Specifically,
anyway,
this specifically talks about this village of Winterley, and it gives you a lot of background. So as we said, it's a village where if you enter the village, you're very unlikely to leave, and if you find yourself there after dark, all the roads seem to bring you back to one particular crossroad. And so it gives you a good, rich vein of cast members to tap into these themed games.
So, one of the beauties of 7TV, especially the first season, was the openness of the game world. Do you think that having this as a more limited game world is going to impact on that?
Well, it's only limited insofar as if you want to play the actual cast list game. So you can play the open cast games where you can kind of mix and match a bit more. And looking through the book, there are some of the episodes where it gives you the suggested cast and it gives you the option to bring in some military. So if you've got any of your Department X kind of British Army guys from 7TV, you can use them in here.
I think it's quite a clever idea, because I think one of the not much criticisms about games is the fact that you'll put a game out which is very sort of, this is your cast, this is your character, this is your scenario, and a lot of people want that. And then at the same time, you've got a lot of open world games where you can make anything you want, like the main core game, and people like that. And the same people don't like that and that and that. So you have a mixture. And I think the good thing about this is, like Stephen says, you do have people who say, look, I want you to do the work for me. I want a scenario played out for me to follow. Whereas other people will say, no, I want to write my own story.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose with that format of kind of the mix and match, I'm looking forward to us recreating Hot Fuzz.
Yeah. I mean, it's a perfect example, and I'm fairly sure there'll be one of the episodes in here that will reflect that. So the other change with Children of the Fields from the Inch High Spy-Fi is, whereas with Inch High Spy-Fi you've got gadget cards, so we looked at the bulletproof umbrella, the dagger shoe, that kind of thing. This uses Arcana, and Arcana are pretty much the same as gadgets, are just themed more for your corn dolls and your ash wands and your precious things. So what you actually get, so this is the program guide, and as I say, this is essentially the same as if you were buying your bolt action style Armies of the whatever, or your Warhammer 40,000 Codex, or your Age of Sigmar, whatever they're called,
etc. Yeah. So
you get in here any of the special rules and differences, like we say the Arcana, and then you get the cast list. So a bit of background bump. There's an interview with Kenneth Cobham, the writer of the new folk horror thriller The Children of the Fields. So it gives you again a lot more info about the setting that you're going to be playing in, particularly in this one. So again, it's in the way that these are themed. It's kind of like, again, your TV guide, your TV times.
Even the font is very reminiscent of those TV magazines of old.
And then you get your cast list. So we've got your stars and your co-stars. So we've got, say, Lady Winterly. We've got the Crow King. We've got this guy, which is the Straw Man, which is a huge model. And again, because of Kickstarter, all of these are available now.
Yeah.
And so obviously you get all your cast lists of your various stars, co-stars, and as I say, these are all named in here. So all of the stars and co-stars, like you've got the hurdy-gurdy man, you've got people like Yvonne de Vries, who's one of the cultists, and we've got various different people. And then you get on to the extras, and we've got themed extras. So we've got people like, we've got the Corn Dolls, there are the Mumma Men, which are the Morris Men kind of characters, who are part of, and then we've got the units that are part of that. So again, it builds on what is already in 7TV. So it gives you units. So like you've got the Mayday Parade. So you might have the hurdy-gurdy man, some Corn Dolls, and some Mumma Men. And again, we'll see in the episode guide.
For me, it's the getting used to the terms, and obviously, seasoned war gamer, seasoned gamer of things organised, captain, sergeants, generals, or chieftain, warrior, that sort of thing. And then the fact that you're going to something like star, co-star, henchman, like extras.
Yeah, extras. So
it's just the way it's built. That you actually think like a TV.
The entire game. I mean, we played a game of 7TV the other day to start getting used to the rules with the standard stuff and just the theming of the game. So everything is themed as if it's a TV episode, and that just comes out through this as well. So again, instead of having scenarios, we have episodes. And what they've done here with Children of the Fields is the episodes are very themed.
Yes.
So they actually do link up to one of the 6 main types of episodes that we saw on 7TV. So the battle, the escape, the race, the ambush, the hit, the steal. But here we've got things like Blot on the Landscape, Oats and Bones and Barley Mow, Tally Ho. And again, with each of these, it gives you a synopsis. It gives you an idea for the cast. So, for example, the Blot on the Landscape episode, which is the same as the battle type in 7TV. It gives you the cast. So it says you should be playing with 36 ratings. Remember, ratings are the way that you build your casts. And it says you're looking for villainous models or from the morally dubious Rex Industries. So this is where you can use your Mad Scientist, your Minion Commander, Minion Heavy Weapon Team. So these are the same models that you would be using with Inch High Spy-Fi.
Fantastic, yeah.
But they're going up against, say, the Children of the Fields models, the Strawman, Yvonne de Vries, 6 Corn Dolls, and 5 Cultists. So it gives you some options in there. So as I say, I think you got 7 technically, because it also gives you the season finale.
Oh, fantastic.
Which is a scenario, an episode called Night of the Goat. And that's where you get to use the big black goat model that they released. And then this is again where 7TV is really nice, in that at the back of the book you actually get the profile cards, and we'll show you the actual profile cards, but you get the profile cards here in the episode guide, the program guide, sorry, to refer to, so that you've got everything you need, except the miniatures, of course, to get going.
And they're good. Again, I mean, they're really good quality as well. So, you know, I'm sure that there's a permission. Is there a permission in there to photocopy for your own use?
That's something I've not quite checked, but
I must admit, I mean, the younger
I would be surprised if there wasn't.
The younger me might have gone at that book with a pair of scissors. I know back in the old days, people would.
What do you mean, a younger you?
A younger you, much younger.
Well, they are kind of printed, so they are printed out as if you need to. As if if you're going to copy these, you would copy them and fold them over, because it is kind of David and then David, so it's not like But I mean, that's £8 for the program guide.
Yeah.
Consider what you would pay for any other kind of
for any other listings
list
book.
It's an army book and a rule book. I mean, does it actually have the standard 7 TV rules in here?
So this is just a program guide. This is essentially just this. So in the 7TV box we had the director's guide, which was the rule book, and the program guide. So this is just the program guide.
Yeah.
But for an extra £8, which again is nothing for. For game add-ons,
especially for kind of the other games that are around at the moment with releasing their packs of cards and the like.
I think it's the accessibility as well, isn't it? More than anything else, I think it's a game you can buy the rules and then decide to go on whatever miniatures you want to go.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So for £8, you can buy a set of the profile cards that we've got in the back of the book, and that's your profiles for your stars, your co-stars, your extras, and your units, and we do get all the Arcana cards.
I'll just pop that one under there, just so we can get a shot of it there.
Yeah.
It's one that I've seen. Ben, sorry, would you like to?
Oh yes, let's have a quick look. So I mean, the cards themselves are good quality. They're on good quality stock. The printing itself is clean and crisp, and they've got a matte laminate. So, for as far as card goes, these are as indestructible as you can make paper. Really?
Yeah, and I mean, I think when we were talking about these, we had a look at these cards when we first got them from Carl at Crooked Dice, and we were saying it might be worthwhile looking at card sleeves just for longevity. But I think that's
absolutely.
one of those things now with any game where you've got cards. I would look at card sleeves just because the amount of times you handle cards and the corners get dog-eared, especially these are square cut corners, so they will be a bit prone to get dog-eared rather than a rounded corner card. But do you know what? It's like, as you say, the card stock itself is really good quality. And
I mean, we've had several games over the last few years where it's been a great game, but as you say, the card stock has let it down a little bit because you kind of feel that I need to handle this with care. And not that you wouldn't anyway, but it's sort of, you feel like you have to be that extra special.
Yeah, when you're playing a game, like a war game where you might have a bit of just a strip at the side of the table to put your deck on, your cards on. you do have the thing of cards are going to get knocked on the floor.
Yeah. There's always that risk. Someone's going to throw a can of fizzy liquid.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah, card sleeves are kind of becoming a
beverage.
Weak lemon drink. Card sleeves are becoming an almost necessitous part of the hobby now.
I mean, I wish I thought of them.
And you can. I wish I thought the idea.
Yeah.
And again, they're not expensive. You know, there's lots of companies doing them. They're readily accessible. Most game shops stock them, if not all stock them. You can get them online from games, you know, from your FLGS and other large online retailers.
I mean, the one thing I haven't checked, and it was something I was really going to check, and I'm sure we could easily check, is if these are a standard card size that would be akin to your other collectible card game style cards, like a Magic the Gathering card. Because if they are, there's an instant kind of source of
so looking
card
at
sleeves.
I mean, looking at that one, they do look to be the same size as the old first edition X-Wing cards. So I'm guessing that they are a standardised size.
I mean, the card sleeves that I purchased for the Star Wars game that we play, I think they'll fit comfortably in those sleeves because those particular cards fit with a little bit of a wide, bit of a gap either side of the margin. So something like that, you get a great way to store them.
So there we go. I think we've just ascertained that we can probably fit them in card sleeves.
But as I say, the cards themselves, I think you can get away without using the card sleeves, but
especially with the amount that they're going to actually be used and handled during the course of a game. It's just that.
I mean, there's a lot of text on the card, so if you look at one of the stars, because they generally do have quite a bit of card text. So there's the hurdy-gurdy man card, and the back of the cards have got quite a bit of text on, so you know you're going to be picking up and handling them, and your opponent's going to be picking up and handling them. So yeah, it might just be worth that few extra quid to protect your cards. Yeah. But actually, as I say, you do without. But so as I say, they are the profile cards that you can buy for the Children of the Fields pack. And it's, again, £8 for that expansion. I think it's a worthwhile investment for getting the cards rather than having to keep flicking back and forward to the
absolutely. I mean, so if I were, for example, interested in purchasing some of Crooked Dice's fine products, where could I get hold of them?
So Crooked Dice themselves have got their own website. It's got everything listed on there. crooked-dice.co.uk is where you want to go.
Brilliant website. There's loads of great miniatures.
And you will get lost on that website, especially if you're a fan of cult TV of any kind.
Yes.
It could have some wallet damage.
Yeah.
Because you'll go in, it's like anything, you go into a shop, you go into the supermarket for a pack of mints and you come up with 40 quid's worth of stuff. And it'll be the same on that site, I think. You
40 quid's worth of mints.
You're like, oh, Ghostbusters.
There's a great community. There's a great community on Facebook that support the game. And if you're looking for miniatures that Crooked Dice don't do for a particular genre, or if you want alternative miniatures to what Crooked Dice do, there's always people on there that'll point you in the right direction. I'll give you tips, or I'll give you rule FAQs and stuff like that, and including all of the people behind 7TV are all in that group, and it's a great resource for getting ideas for painting, building,
really friendly
running your
group
games.
as well. Actually, we've been members of about 6 months now, possibly longer. On the Facebook page, and like Stephen says, I mean, loads of advice, lots of people, great fun projects. And you do have a lot of wow moments where somebody puts something in, I've come up with this idea, they've done it, and this miniature's been perfectly executed, and it's just funny. And that's the whole point for me. It's a fun game with a lovely set of supporting miniatures and the rules which we tried last time.
Yeah, the rules themselves flow really well. So I think we're going to be looking at 7TV a bit more in the future, and we're going to try and do some playthroughs, and we'll look at some of the other bits when we get some more stuff assembled. But I'm still painting my starter casts for Inch High Spy-Fi, and I'm looking at this, and I'm kind of already now dreaming of painting the hurdy-gurdy man and doing the miller and the miller's wife and those characters. But I think that's pretty much a good run through of what you're going to get for Children of the Fields. Now, it's worth saying, this is the expansion they've just done. In October, I believe, 2018. As we're recording this, we're seeing the promo stuff for Crooked Dice's next 7TV expansion. We've seen the minis. If you go and view our Border Reaver,
the Border Reavers video, they are on there.
You will see some of the miniatures in there, which is for the new 7TV Apocalypse game.
So excited.
Which is going to be your Mad Max kind of, desolate
Mad
wastelands.
Max / wacky races.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier.
So that is the next one to come along, and I would imagine it'll be exactly the same as this in terms of the quality of the guide, the quality of the cards, the quality of the miniatures.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Yeah. For me, again, it's a lovely piece of nostalgia. It takes me back to some very happy memories of watching Edward Woodward and Christopher Lee and people like that get chased around the countryside.
Late night Saturday TV programme where you're sort of sitting there, too old to have a couple of cans in your hand, but old enough to have a takeaway, watching TV on your own where everybody else in the house was asleep.
Yeah, and, watching those old films that your mum wouldn't want you to. Great minis, lovely game. Yeah, recommend it. And all your FLGSs out there, contact them, start stocking it. It needs more exposure. It's that good a game. It needs a bit more life out there.
But yeah, so go check it out. Go check out, as I say, our unboxing of the 7TV inch-high Spy-Fi box and look at the starter cast.
We'll put
check
links
out
down there.
The Border Reaver video that we did.
Border Reavers.
Where you will see some of the minis, and you'll see an interview with Carl from Crooked Dice talking about the 7TV world and 7TV Apocalypse. But until then, make sure you like, share and subscribe all of our videos and our channels.
That's the thing
and
there.
yeah, we should be seeing at the bottom if our director is pressing the right buttons. You will see all of the
by other names.
Social media, so you can find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. So make sure you check us out there and say hi. Until next time, we've been the Average Tabletop Gamers.
That's right, we have. And yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, bye then.
Bye-bye.